Welcome back to another live and amplified special coverage of the Hoedown Showdown at CRS. And we have a very special guest joining us. We have Mary McGuinness. How's it going today?
I'm good. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, excited to have you here. Excited to be here. I haven't been to Nashville in like 4 years, so it's
wow.
It's one of those things where I keep telling myself, oh, I'm going to go, and then the trip is just more expensive than I want it to be. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to put that one on hold. And so this year it was just like, no, I'm not going to put it on hold.
This was the right year.
Yeah. So how's CRS treating you so far? I know it's early on in the process, but...
Well, it's the first time that I've been here, and I just moved to Nashville a year and a half ago, so I didn't even... really wasn't aware of this, and it's just it's amazing. Everyone is here.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It's a lot of people that I don't know. I try and get myself in with the other like podcasters and radio hosts and program directors and stuff like that, and it's just impossible to stay on top of everything with everyone. So this is an amazing site. So
oh yeah, I feel lucky to be here.
Yeah. So you moved to Nashville a year and a half ago. Where'd you move? You said something tropical. I'm guessing Florida is where you moved from.
Oh no, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. You said tropical.
It felt tropical yesterday here in Nashville.
Fair.
Now it's cold.
So what kind of prompted you to move to Nashville from LA? Was it?
Well, I had been visiting once a month to write on Music Row, and I just woke up in bed one day and said, need to move to Nashville. And 2 months later, I moved here.
Nice.
So I felt called to move here.
Fair. Was that a tough decision to make for you, or was it pretty easy?
I knew that I had to do it.
Okay.
And I followed it sometimes when you have that kind of intuition hunch, but it was difficult because I do have a lot of friends and things that I love there. But I do really love Nashville. I think people have they're very big-hearted here.
Yeah. I'm kind of torn. I'm having that same conversation with myself about needing to move to Nashville, but I really like Texas. So it's like a really hard conversation to have where it's like, I've got a lot of good things going on in Texas. I don't really want to leave, but Nashville's kind of calling me right now. So, yeah.
You'll know.
Yeah, for sure. But you said you were born in Killeen, right?
Yeah, near Waco.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in Killeen for you?
Well, I was only there till I was 5 because it was Fort Hood. My dad was a Green Beret, and then I went and lived with my grandparents in New York.
Okay.
So that's basically where I grew up.
Okay, New York. Gotcha. So you were there just because your family was military, or you were in Killeen because your family was military?
Yes.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So we're at CRS now. What are you currently working on? Where are you kind of at creatively?
Well, I just released a record a month ago, actually, called Shadow Catcher, and that's basically when I came to Nashville. I just hunkered down and wrote that record, recorded it, now releasing it, and I'm working on new songs and just had a show. I've some shows here and working on. I'll be in the UK in June.
Nice. For
a show and working on a little tour there too. So
nice.
Forward to it.
The UK's got a really cool country scene, like a little country scene going on out there. It's they're doing a lot of festivals, which is really cool, bringing over a lot of American artists. So, so when you sat down, you said you started writing this album when you moved to Nashville, or had you been working on it prior?
It's maybe one song that I had started in LA, but basically, I had sketches of I have about 16 songs, but then I started co-writing when I got to Nashville, and then I chose 10 of the best songs I felt for the record. Okay. So
was it, when you went into that selection process, was it more of these are the 10 songs that tell like a complete story, or did you just feel these were the 10 best songs you had?
A little of both. Okay. I felt like they were the 10 most cohesive songs that I felt were my strongest songs, even though maybe some of them were a little more sentimental to me. But I think it's good to not get too attached sometimes, and I feel like the album is cohesive in that way, even though it's kind of a lot of different maybe genres.
Yeah.
But
yeah, fair enough. Are you kind of trying to flush out the genre, like what kind of music you want to make? Is that kind of what's going on, or is it just?
I think that I naturally tend toward, I'm very influenced by the 70s, but I also really, really love country music, especially classic country, like 70s country. And I love American, folk. So I'm not concerned. I'm just concerned about writing a good song.
Okay, fair enough. Because, it's one of those interesting things. This day and age, you see a lot of musicians that are just kind of breaking the genre norms because Spotify doesn't, not that they don't care, but it's not traditional radio so much anymore where everything is it's got to be 100% hardcore country. Like, I'm sure you heard the little kerfuffle about Beyonce's new country song should it be on country radio, should it not be? So I like the challenging the norms, so to speak, that's kind of going on. And when artists kind of do that, they push the boundaries of music. That's really cool.
I think that's bound to happen. I feel like things evolve and we'll never have 70s music again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was that time and era. And so I think that's why, as people too, hopefully we're all kind of coming together. And so I think that's natural that would happen with music.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And people can feel when it's authentic.
Yeah.
They can feel when it's just really from the heart because you get influenced by so many things,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's the biggest thing I've been preaching on everything that we do is authenticity, just because it's the difference maker in being successful in anything, as far as I'm concerned, is as long as you're being authentic to who you are as a musician, as a creative in general.
Yeah.
People can feed off of that and they will respond to it. So.
And also it's about knowing that you don't need that external validation to write something that's authentic for yourself, and then you can feel good about whatever you put out there because you know it's truly you.
Yeah.
I think if you're trying sometimes too much to do whatever is, then you might not be as happy with it. And you might have to hear that for the rest of your life, so you better like it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I 100%. So now that the album's out, and you said you're working on new music already, are you touring? Are you playing shows? How I
just had a show Monday, a local show, and I have another songwriters night this Friday.
Nice.
So, and then I'll be playing in LA in April. I don't know. A lot of dates are kind of coming down the pike, and then I'll be in London in June, and I think other dates in the UK as well.
Yeah, nice. And then just kind of outside of music, when you finally get time to relax and chill or whatever, what are some of your passions outside of music?
Well, I love to make macrame.
Okay.
I'm very into making all these like weavings and macrame, and I do really like to cook. I'm not a great cook, but I'm a good cook.
Fair.
And I find it very therapeutic.
Yeah.
I love listening to music and putting on and cooking. That's really enjoyable for me. And playing with my dog.
For sure. I've just recently started getting back into cooking. When I was in high school, I thought that's what I was going to do.
Oh.
And then I saw kind of what it did to my uncle. He was a professional chef, and
it's really hard on your body.
By the time he was 50, he had couldn't walk. He was on permanent disability, and all these things. And I was like, yeah, I've already got some of that issue, so I don't want to prolong it anymore. And then about 6 months ago, I just started picking up some stuff, and and now I just kind of do it for fun. So
well, look at all those Top Chef and Master Chef. I love all those shows. You can be a quote amateur cook and still be a great chef.
Yeah.
As long as it makes you happy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome. So if anybody wants to check out your music or any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you online?
Well, I think I'm everywhere where you stream music, Apple, Spotify, Tidal. And then my website is Mary McG, MCG. And on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'm the same, Mary McGuinness Official.
Awesome. What's been your favorite social media platform recently?
I think Instagram is usually where I feel the most at home.
Fair. Fair. And then just one last thing as we wrap this up. What's one piece of advice you have for the young musicians out there?
I think practice and get really solid in whatever it is in your craft, and be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's also good to find a mentor or someone who's been in the business for a while who can kind of help you and guide you and give you advice. I wish I had that, and and I think that's really helpful.
Awesome. So, sorry, I didn't mean to jump into another question, but
No, that's good.
so you said you didn't have like a mentor growing up going into music, or?
Well, not in the music I'm doing now. I had a high school music teacher who greatly encouraged me in high school to go in. I went into classical music first, and thank goodness for her.
Yeah.
But I feel like not so much. It's been finding my way and finding my feet, and I think it's definitely a lot of helpful people. But I think it's really great if you're a young artist and you can find someone who can kind of really give you some advice, some wisdom.
Yeah, for sure. That's perfect advice right there, and in and of itself. So, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat with us. And we will be back here in a little bit.
Thank you for having me.